There are three things going on right now that you need to be very aware of. And in my opinion, it just proves that as a human race, we are de-evolving. We've reached our limit and now we're going backwards. And then the big key to this, and this is a little out there, I get it, but what does this have to do with a lot of these UFO sightings that are showing up on the news? All of these things, I think, are related. I'm going to tell you why. So the first thing that is showing that we're de-evolving as a human race is testosterone. We all have probably heard this at this point, but testosterone is lowering in men year by year. The normal average 20, 30 years ago is way higher than what it is now. So I've linked a couple of articles here, and there's plenty more where this came from. There's tons of studies and articles looking at this because no one can really figure out 100% as to why testosterone is lowering in all of these men. The first one, this is, I think the first year from 2007, a population level decline in serum testosterone levels in American men. A lot of these studies don't really have a reason as to why it's lowering. They can just see it steadily declining year after year. And what I mean by is they don't know why. They don't know if it's a lifestyle thing, health choices, diet, or if it's some outside factor that they can't quite account for, like chemicals in the air, chemicals in the water, whatever it may be. But all of these studies and articles, the way they describe it are these testosterone levels decreasing are substantial. These aren't just small decreases. Normally, when you turn about 30 years old, your testosterone should lower about 1% every year, just a steady decline. Some people more, some people less. But this substantial decrease is way bigger, and it's age dependent, population level, it's across the board. So obviously the older someone is, the more it's going to decrease. That 1%, that's kind of out the window. It's a lot more than that now. Now, there's a really good article I found on the Cleveland Clinic website, which is one of the better websites to really explain things like this. Now, this is from 2022. Now, in this article, you see researchers call the changes alarming from an evolutionary point of view. So why is it happening? Can the trend be reversed? And they go into it in this article, and what is considered low? It talks about 250 nanograms per deciliter, or 300 is kind of the bottom range of blood work. And just for me personally, when I see clients that are in their 20s, 30s, and this is people that have never taken gear too, their testosterone is not as high as you think. There's definitely outliers that have 800, 900, stuff like that, and those are the healthier individuals. But the average people that I see are usually 550 or lower, and that's like even younger guys. It's never really that high. And like I said, it shows here about a 1% drop after you're at the age of 30. And then ongoing research shows the decrease that is unrelated to aging. So it's not aging that's causing this. And these studies compare people of the same age in different years. So for example, a 45-year-old in 1987 versus 1995, 2002, and so on. So why have the testosterone levels declined? It's not age related. And as they say here, we're seeing more people with overall health status decline as well, because testosterone, as you should know, it's sort of a taboo thing when you're talking about bodybuilders and athletes, but testosterone is very healthy for you. It's needed not just for mental clarity and keeping you out of that depression state, but it's very good for your health and a lot of bodily functions. You have to have it. And then here's the other thing, which I'm gonna bring up later on in this video, is the weight. And then testosterone levels coincides with higher numbers on the bathroom scale, which is essentially BMI. So if you're just fat as crap, your testosterone levels are not going to be high. Your estrogen is probably going to be high, but your testosterone is not. And then of course they talk about physical activity. Physical activity has definitely been on the downward trend. I mean, CrossFit and bodybuilding, going to the gym and all this stuff, people act like it's doing better. But I would say as an overall population, most people are not exercising like they should. And some of them think they are and they're just not. And BMI shows us that they're not, period. So when you lift weights, your testosterone levels can go up. If you've had a strenuous workout and you recover, a lot of times your testosterone goes up, growth hormone goes up. There's a lot of things that come from working out, not just for men, but for women hormonally, that are very positive once you work out. And then obviously they've done studies pre and post exercise that show testosterone levels increase with activity, duh. And then so if you're not exercising regularly, you're not getting that bump in testosterone. And then for note here, cardio activities don't offer the same boost. And I know he's talking about long distance and probably steady state, but if you do sort of an HIIT type of workout, HIIT workout, along with your weight training, that's actually going to have a very significant bump in testosterone. That's fantastic for you as well, because it's working on your VO2 max, things like that. And then here's another big one, and I'm going to get into this as well, is diet. Eating a well-balanced, nutritious diet puts your body in a position to have those optimum levels. That includes testosterone production. A lot of that is healthy fats, having a normal caloric diet. I'm not talking about 4,000, 5,000 calories. People with this high BMI just stuffing their faces constantly. Why would your body produce testosterone if you're that fat? Like, honestly. Increased caloric intake can lead to obesity, and then a cascade effect on your health often starts. So obesity is the thing that's sort of causing all this, in my opinion. I want to get into that, but there's plenty of studies that show different diets, all this stuff. Like, it's calories, man. It's your BMI. That's what's making the big effect. Then another thing, and I don't know if this is true if people are drinking more alcohol now than before, but it's easier to get alcohol now, that's for sure. Chronic and excessive drinking ultimately decreases testosterone production. And I don't know why people act like this just isn't a thing, but alcohol negatively affects hormones in men and women. Like, if you just turn into a drinker, that's fine, that's your choice, but it's gonna have some serious health impacts. And it's honestly, if you're a younger person, it's not gonna be like getting fatty liver disease and tearing down your liver and stuff like that. You're just gonna turn into a fat ass. So let's say if you drink and it messes with your hormones so much that then the normal amount of calories that you burn in a day, maybe that comes down by 200, right? But you're still eating like a fat ass like you were before. So that 200 calories, that adds up over a week. That adds up over a year. That adds up from when you're a freshman in college to when you graduate college and you wonder why you put on all this fat. Well, it's because you're having 200, 500, 700 extra calories every day just because you're drinking. And that adds up to a lot of fat gain. And you're crazy if you think that doesn't add up to a lot of fat gain, because a couple hundred calories a day, that's a huge increase, man, especially if it's every single day on top of the days you have thousands of calories extra. Come on. And then the other big one that's sort of a compounded effect is sleep and sleep apnea. If you're huge and you have a big BMI, especially for some of the bodybuilders listening to this, you don't have to just be fat, you just have to be big in general. Sleep apnea, that's gonna really screw up your hormones, man. It like big time. And then that, not only are you not getting a restful night's sleep, it's screwing up your hormones. All of that's compounding, and it's having a big effect on your hormones down the road, not just with your health, but everything. Because sleep is that one time a day your body has a chance to burn calories, to recover, to reset mentally, reset physically, and you're not letting it do that. Now, here's the one that I'm not totally sold on. I'm not one of these people that think toxins are ruining everyone's health, because this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You have a liver, you have kidneys, we can eat almost anything, and our stomach acid is gonna, like, toxins, you're gonna be hard up to convince me that it's toxins, and they don't have a lot of research showing it. The research on the effect of environmental toxins on hormones and testosterone is ongoing. They say there's no question, though, that exposure to this has increased exponentially over time. Basically, they're saying they don't know. Are toxins bad? Obviously, but how many are we actually getting, right? The poison is always in the dose of things, and toxins, some people probably get more than others, but like for everyone to have their testosterone decrease, that means if it's a toxin, it's got to be everywhere. Okay, I just don't know if I believe that, especially if there's no evidence of it. Now this goes on to show you what can you do to boost your testosterone. In my opinion, lifestyle changes aren't going to have a huge effect on hormones and your body weight and things like that immediately. That's going to be a really long-term thing, like a year plus. So I'm not even going to waste your time looking at these lifestyle changes they mention. So the question, why would our testosterone stay the same, or why would it rise? Okay, so there's no need for testosterone hormones other than reproduction, right? And even then, you just need a small amount of them to actually make sperm. You don't need a ton of testosterone now to protect your offspring, and you don't need a lot of testosterone to gather food. It's not like hundreds of years ago when you have to be this in shape, testosterone filled dude to reproduce, find food, protect your family out in the environment. You just don't. Like, we don't even need that to have babies now, right? And plus with food, you just go to the grocery store. You don't even have to go to the grocery store. You can literally sit in your car and not even leave and get your groceries now. And protecting your offspring, I mean, hell, everyone's at home, everyone's at school. You don't really have to do anything to protect them. I get there's dangers in the world, but it's not like a freaking tiger is hunting down your kid and you got to be this specimen of a man to protect them. It's just not like that anymore. So why would testosterone fall? Obviously, excessive weight and elevated BMI, those measurements added with the stress on your body, that's going to affect testosterone production and its natural distribution processes. So anytime your BMI is super high, most people are going to have really high estrogen to go along with that. And then you're telling your body like, yo, I'm good, man. I'm going to survive. I have all the fat I need. Like, I have all the calories and energy I need. I don't need testosterone. I'm good. Now, if you lift weights, obviously your testosterone levels could be rising, and exercises such as strength training and high intensity, all that's been shown to boost testosterone like pretty quick, right? But why would it fall? So most people aren't exercising. So not only is their BMI raising, but it's raising because they're not exercising, they're eating too much. So if you don't exercise, you're telling your body again, I don't need testosterone. So you're just, again, this is like the second thing. You're telling your body you don't need testosterone. So eventually it's going to listen to you. And if it doesn't listen to you, it's going to listen to your offspring that are doing the same thing. So we are de-evolving eventually. And then, like I said, eating a well-balanced diet, all that's going to help you with the optimum levels, including testosterone. And, you know, as the same point above this, a healthy diet usually leads to a healthy weight. So all of this sort of coincides together as to why testosterone is falling. And chronic and excessive drinking ultimately decrease testosterone production. You can't overlook that. It definitely has an effect on it. Your testosterone levels are typically highest in the morning after your body sort of recharges overnight. If you're not sleeping, then that's not going to happen. The process just breaks down. Even if you have a peaceful slumber, you need to do it consistently, right? And it's going to be disturbed if you have sleep apnea, straight up.